Hey, it's Paul with RackOutfitters.com, here to show you the Rhino-Rack Rock 25 base roof rack system. Here we have it installed onto this Honda Civic sedan. This same fit works on many vehicles with a bare roof. Do check the Rhino-Rack fit guide to confirm the fit for your particular vehicle. So we've already pre-installed the front load bar. Here on the bench we've got the rear load bar where we've already installed one of the rear legs, and we've left one side uninstalled so we can go over all the details of the installation for a leg set. So this system includes three main components. You've got your two load bars. Here on the end of the box you've got your part numbers. So VA 126S, so the VA stands for Vortex Aero, the 126 stands for the length, and the S stands for whether it's silver or black, so B would be black. So you got your two bars. Now you have your Rock 25 leg kit. That too has its part number at the end, which is RLKVA. O stands for the overhang. And then lastly, you have your fitting kit. The fitting kit is vehicle specific. So this one is the DK453, which is specifically designated for this year, make, model of vehicle. Okay, so let's get to unpacking some of these items. So we have already unpacked the load bar, but there are some things to know about when you unpack the load bar. So here's essentially what it'll look like when you pull it out of the box. You've got an end cap, which is simply pressed into place. Behind the end cap, you've got a tamper-resistant key, which is used to hold that end cap in, and you can see how it engages and turns, and it's a tamper-resistant method of attachment for that end cap. Then behind the end cap, you also have a measuring strip. And this is part of what will help us get the best position between the legs on the vehicle and get the right overall setup. Now, when you get the load bar, the track at the top of the load bar will be empty, and inside of the bar, you've actually got your vortex generating strip, the VGS strip. So those are housed inside the bar. Be sure to shake those out whenever you unpack your load bar. Okay, the load bar itself. This is an aluminum load bar with, in this case, a black anodized finish. It has a aerodynamic shape. The rubber strip is integral into the overall aerodynamics to maintain a quiet ride. So I'll go ahead and press that into place. And when you press that into place, if you have any excess, you can just snip off the end of that to make sure that you've got it tailored to the length of the bar. So what that does is you have the front of the bar, which helps smooth the airflow until it hits the VGS strip, which disrupts the airflow, giving you good aerodynamic performance. And the shape of the bar is symmetrical, which is actually excellent for mounting accessories that grip around the bar, giving a good stable platform for those accessories. But under that rubber strip is the alternate method of mounting certain accessories that connect into the top of the bar for a very clean, integrated method of attachment. Okay, so those are some of the features of the bar itself. Now let's move on to the Rock 25 leg kit. So we've already used 3 out of the 4 of the legs, so what we have left is the final leg. We also have a specialty tool that's included, and then we have the keys. So this leg kit includes locks and keys, and then you have the identification stickers and then also positioning stickers, which we'll go into detail about those here shortly. Okay, so we've looked at the leg kit. Now let's look at the fit kit. So I'll open up that box, and inside the fit kit, you've got your contoured rubber base pads, and you've got your metal rubberized door frame brackets, and the critical information that will make sure that you do the install according to the engineer's recommendations. It has all the specific details. Now, this is a 2-page instruction sheet. So we'll start at this page, and you'll notice it's broken up into 2 sections. We have the front bar section and the rear bar section. And then even defined even more, you have left and right on the rear bar. So we'll be focusing on this section for the rear bar and the right rear leg. Okay, so here is where they're telling you exactly which base pad and door frame bracket is used on that right rear leg. So let's go ahead and prepare to make that installation. So the outer cover is locked into place out of the box, so I'll just unlock it and set that aside. We also have the base plate, which I can detach temporarily and you'll notice it does have an arrow so that it tells you that it needs to be facing to the outward, and that also again corresponds with what it's saying here in the manual. It's saying out. Okay, and then we've got our rubber base pad. I've set it up to where we're facing out, and the rubber base pad is facing forward. Also, the rubber base pad has a number on it, and that too corresponds back here again to the number on the manual. So here on this manual it says the M284, which corresponds to the impression on the underside of the rubber. Okay, so I got that pressed into place, and now I can put it back onto the bottom of the leg. And then next what I'll do is go ahead and install the leg onto the underside of the bar. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the bar upside down, and this is when we need to use the measuring strip. So we have a measuring strip that starts at 0, goes all the way out to 270, and that starts at the beginning of the slot and goes to the end. So we want to have a stopping point where the leg will stop against it, and it tells us right here underneath the bar. So there are alternative bars that could be used, the Euro and the HD bar, but of course we're using the VA Vortex Aero bar, and below that column it says 128. So that's simply as easy as that. We just find 128 on the measuring strip, and we'll snip it at that distance, and then insert that into the slot, making sure that it's pressed firmly against the end of the slot so that you don't have any gaps there. Next, what we can do is we will loosen this fastener on the underside and guide the square-headed nut into the slot, bringing the leg over up against that measuring point, not over the top of it, but up against it. That's important. Okay, then I'll just hold it with my hand, and using this tool that's provided, tighten it on very tight, as tight as you can get it. What I'm doing here with my thumb is I'm pressing against the rigid end of that blue handle to get it good and tight. Okay, with that done, we've got this excess bar, the overhang portion, which we can fill in with this excess measuring strip. So that is also very important to do that to maintain good aerodynamic performance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the machined cut end and press that back in, slide it forward, determine what that mark is there. We're looking at 65, so I'll pull it out slightly, cut 65. I'm going to flip it back around so I have that nice machined cut at the end of the bar. Now I can go ahead and put my end cap on. I'm putting the end cap on upside down because the bar is upside down, and I'll use that blue key to engage that, and that way it cannot come off. Okay, next step. I didn't mention the identification. That actually should be done right at the get-go before you begin applying the various components to the leg, because that keeps things organized and in order. So this is right rear. Everything corresponds to the manual where it says right rear. So that's important to do that right from the very beginning. Okay, so now what we can do is take the fastener out. Now on the back side, you'll notice I'm holding the metal threaded part so it stays in place. Now I'll get this door frame bracket, and that will be just set into place on the outer face of the leg, and then I'll tighten that up. And what I'm doing is I'm tightening it up just enough to where it's flush with the end of that. I can feel where it's flush with my index finger, that it's flush there. That's the same on this side as well. It's flush there as well. That way we're starting both sides at the exact same amount of tensioning, and that's what we need to do when we have it on the vehicle, and that way it ensures both sides are tensioned evenly. So next, the vehicle is very clean, but it's always important to make sure that you clean that surface. So I'm just using some window cleaner. You use whatever you feel is appropriate for the finish of your vehicle, and open up the door, make sure this area is clean. Ideally, you wash and wax the vehicle, and do that periodically throughout your ownership of the rack on the vehicle. Anytime you would normally wash and wax the vehicle, be sure to wash and wax the vehicle without the roof rack in place. That way you preserve the finish of your vehicle. Okay, so I've got the roof rack, and what I'm going to do is extend it over and beyond and set that down into place. That other side door should be open, which I did not have open for some reason. Okay, there we go. So start with all the doors open. Okay. Now I just have the position of this from the front bar just in an estimated position. What we'll do is so we've looked at this front side of the instructions. We're going to flip it to the opposite side, and this is going to give us the guidance in telling us where not only the front bar but also where the back bar needs to be positioned. This is a predetermined position that is not adjustable. It must be put in this position according to the engineer's specifications. So the first step is we have A, and that is a measurement from the end of the front door to the center line of the leg. And so that measurement is 300 millimeters. So I have that pre-measured and positioned and tightened in that place. Now the next measurement is B, and that is the distance center to center from the front bar to the rear bar. Now just a good sort of pro tip you could say is don't spend time determining where the center of that bar is. Instead, go to the very front of the bar and the front of this bar, which is equivalent to center to center. Okay, so now I have it positioned there, and I can look very closely and see where my 700 millimeters is, and I can ensure that's in the right position. Now I can start doing some initial assessments of the positioning of the rubber and the angle of the door frame bracket. You'll notice there's a riveted hinge here that allows for this door frame bracket to rotate, giving it the best possible angle so that the door frame bracket is parallel with the door frame. And so that's what we can expect. So I got this side in place. I'm going to match the other side. So for this vehicle, we're looking at that 700 millimeters. So I'll just gradually bring that into place. I got my 700 millimeters, and I'll confirm positioning, angle, make sure everything looks good. Now what we can do is our first round of tensioning. Now since I did go to the opposite side and I moved that a fair amount, I just want to double check myself to make sure that this side didn't move on me. And so it actually did by about 5 millimeters, so I want to get that back in line. Any movement on the opposite side can affect this side, so you always want to double check yourself. Okay, so we got that in place. I'm going to go ahead and pull that door frame bracket to where I got that really good engagement there. And now what I can do is just pull out the slack by threading that fastener just to where it holds its position. We're not tensioning yet, we're just pulling out the extra threading. We can do the same thing on this side, and I'll check it again. By the way, unfortunately a measuring tape is not included, but just any general household measuring tape will do a good job. Okay, same thing here. Just going to get that into position, pull out the slack. Okay, so now with both sides at the exact same tensioning, so we're both at both sides, slack removed. Now I can begin the first round of tensioning on this side. So I'll just give it a few turns, get it snug. I can now close that door. Okay, so this one, we've only removed the slack, so we'll do the first round of tensioning. And now you'll be able to watch as this rubber base conforms to the contours of that ditch channel on the roof. Okay, so now this matches the opposite side, and I can do the final round of tensioning on this side. Now, when we get to the final round of tensioning, you'll see this tool has a built-in torque indicator. So as this curvature in the handle flexes to straight, that indicates that you're at a good tensioned. You can see how it's going straight there. Okay, so that feels like a good tensioned installation. I'll finish up on this side doing the same thing. Okay, so we got perfect tension. Lastly, what we want to do is install our locking covers. So covered up on that side, on this side. Now earlier at the bench, we mentioned this other set of stickers. So these are clear adhesive stickers with white arrows. I'm going to open up this door and apply this sticker directly under the center line of that bracket. Now, if you remove the rack and reinstall the rack, this will give you good guidance on putting it in the back where it was without necessarily having to refer to the instructions. So you can see here, we've got the two arrows pointing, telling you where it goes. So they're unobtrusive, but very helpful in the reinstallation of the rack. So those are all the key details in installation of the Rhino-Rack Rock 25 base roof rack system. This product and the full line of Rhino-Rack products are available at rackoutfitters.com. Please see the link in our video description for complete details, our pricing, and our promotions, and thanks for watching.